This week on Siskel and Ebert, Will Smith and Gene Hackman are targeted by an enemy of the state.
Leonardo DiCaprio and Kenneth Branagh star in Woody Allen's story of Celebrity.
And ants and their allies fight a grasshopper invasion in A Bug's Life.
The second you gave me that tape, my life has been falling apart.
You assured me that this guy was legit.
You needed information. I got it.
You're good. Hold position. Raise quick.
Will Smith plays a D.C. attorney being spied on by sinister government forces in the techno-thriller Enemy of the State. And that is one of 5 new movies we'll be reviewing this week on Siskel and Ebert. And we will also analyze and discuss the first footage available from the next Star Wars movie. I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times.
And I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune. Our first movie is Enemy of the State, a complex, hyperactive thriller. So hyperactive, I wish I could have injected half the characters and maybe the director with a heavy dose of Ritalin. In the movie, Washington labor lawyer Will Smith unknowingly becomes entangled in a lethal congressional power struggle over legislation that would unleash the government's ability to snoop on the conversations and movements of all citizens. And powerful forces hidden within a government agency will stop at nothing, including murder, to get a bill passed that will give them all that power. And the agents believe that Smith's character has evidence of their foul play.
We have reason to believe that Mr. Zavitz may have passed sensitive materials to you.
What kind of materials?
Well, sensitive, sir. We're hoping that you could tell us that.
No, he didn't pass me anything.
These voice stress points indicate a really high degree of anxiety.
Anxiety about what?
John Voight plays a National Security Agency administrator who has the most to lose in this high-stakes game. To defeat Voight and clear himself of a frame-up, Smith enlists the help of a former NSA agent played by Gene Hackman.
Control, this is Air 1. Repeat coordinates.
105 Chambers Avenue.
You're transmitting. They still have a signal on you. Your collar, your belt, your zipper. Get rid of your clothes, all of them.
Well, and then what am I supposed to do?
Nothing. You live another day, I'll be very impressed.
Obviously, Enemy of the State has a complex story, but this movie isn't about its story. It's about showing us high-tech eavesdropping toys in a barrage of furious, ear-splitting, eye-popping action scenes. What did the movie accomplish? And maybe this was one of its goals. Well, it threw in my face such an array of spying mechanisms that I no longer felt secure. And so maybe in some backdoor fashion, I ended up caring about the issue that fuels the story. But also, there was a good old Gene Hackman, sending off echoes of his great eavesdropping character named Harry Call in a better movie, The Conversation. So what you're getting from me is a mixed review. But if you twisted my arm, my thumb goes marginally up because I liked all the high-tech gizmos.
I liked them too, Gene, and I liked the movie too. I did not find it too noisy or too frenetic, certainly not after a movie like Armageddon, which I think set the standard in that department.
Yes.
This movie, to me, was fascinating because it seemed to know what it was talking about. A couple of years ago, I mocked some movie on this show where a satellite from space could look at license plates on the ground.
Oh, right.
But recently I went on the web and I was able to see the roof of my own house on a Microsoft site. So I think if I can do that, the NSA can probably see how much money I have in my billfold. And this movie was really scary in showing the willingness of the government to violate its own laws and to ignore its own laws in order to spy on citizens and to make them enemies. And we've seen that happening right now in Washington, where the power of the government allows individual citizens to be run roughshod over.
When Hackman popped on the screen, didn't you feel really good to see him?
I always feel good to see him, and I love the fact that his headquarters in this movie looks exactly like the rig that he had in The Conversation. I'm sure that was a reference.
Yeah. He has now achieved real senior beloved status in the movies.
He's a great techno-coot in this film. Okay, next movie. Our next movie is a delightful and funny film named Waking Ned Devine. There seems to be an inexhaustible supply of quirky human comedies from the British Isles. And here's another one, this one from a village in Ireland where a local citizen wins nearly £7 million in the national lottery and then dies with the winning ticket in his hand. The law says the money goes back into the kitty, but Ned Devine's neighbors think it would be a shame for that to happen. They'd rather share it among themselves. As the movie opens, though, all they know is that someone in the village has won the prize.
Has the news reached anymore?
Nobody's figured it out yet, so nobody knows but the winner.
That's Ian Bannon as Jackie, the local mastermind, and David Kelly as his best friend Michael in a performance that deserves an Oscar nomination. Jackie and his wife hold a supper for selected neighbors to try to pick up clues about who might have won the lottery. And it turns out that one of the potential winners is missing.
Ned Devine was missing.
After they discover that Ned Devine is dead, old Michael winds up impersonating him before federal authorities so that the villagers can share the prize money. Now, where did they find this wonderful actor playing Michael? His name is David Kelly. This scrawny old bird with a twinkle in his eye, he's willing to defraud the state out of something like $10 or $11 million.
Michael's in there with the man from the lotto.
Jackie, he's never told a lie in his life.
Well, he's making up for it now, so.
Right, can I have your full name and date of birth, please, Ned?
Ned Patrick Devine.
One reason Waking Ned Devine is so hilarious is because it's based on greed, on the understandable desire to see a big lottery prize stay right there in the village. Every character is drawn with loving care, including a girl who loves a pig farmer, but not the way he smells, and a local woman who disapproves of everyone and gets her comeuppance. And does she ever?
Well, you used the word, you finally got to the right word, hilarious. This picture is headed certainly for my best 10 list this year. It's spectacularly funny, but also clever. Just when you think it's all, you got it all figured out, and all of the villagers have it all figured out, it gets more complicated. This is a charming film. Everyone now stopping me on the street and asking me what's a good picture to see. This is the one I named. Waking Ned Devine.
It is, and there have been a whole group of these, like Full Monty, and The Commitments, and all of these movies. They all zero in on people who are very clearly quirky, eccentric individuals, and the movies love them, and they love the camera.
But also, the movies hone in on certifiable human nature. Avarice, greed. We're all greedy. We'd all like to be in this situation, and you think, well, what would I do? Would I take the ticket? Would I impersonate? Would I share? You know, I don't want to give away too much. But
of course you would.
They nail every, you know, and again, Full Monty.
If I lived in that village, you could count me in. And David Kelly.
Oh, I'd be.
David Kelly is a treasure.
Oh, it's he looks like a plucked chicken on a bike. It's really funny.
Coming up later in the show, Kenneth Branagh and Winona Ryder are part of the star-studded cast of Woody Allen's Celebrity.
You will not be sorry, trust me.
Coming up next, A Bug's Life, the new animated feature from the makers of Toy Story.
Always cast me as the broom, the pole, the stick, a splinter.
You're a walking stick! It's funny!
MCI 5 cent Sundays.
I need passion, depth, I need intensity.
MCI 5 cent Sundays. 5 cents a minute every Sunday.
Think big. Think Shakespeare. 5 cents a minute every Sunday.
5 cents a minute every Sunday.
I ask for an actor, they send a comedian.
Call 1-800-SUNDAYS to become an MCI customer.
Again?
Call 1-800.
Just one look, that's all it takes.
Switched from cable to DirecTV to get all the Broncos games from their new home in L.A. Got DirecTV for all the pay-per-view movies. Hasn't been to the video store since. Saw the digital picture and sound on DirecTV while shopping for a home theater system. Signed up on the spot. There are over 3 million others for whom all it took was just one look. So, what are you looking at?
Now let me tell you how things are supposed to work. The ants pick the food. The grasshoppers eat the food. It's a bug-eat-bug world out there.
There's some splendor, but a whole lot of warfare in the grass. In A Bug's Life, the latest computer-generated insect film of the year. Did I ever think I would ever say that sentence? And who ever thought we'd get two in 1 year? A Bug's Life isn't just ants. As we go one step up the food chain to a grasshopper population that enjoys harvest normally supplied by the ant colony and is very angry when 1 year the ants don't come through. The voice of the lead hopper in the film is supplied by Kevin Spacey.
Let's just think about the logic, shall we? Let's just think about it for a second. If it was up there, would I be coming down here to your level looking for it?
A Bug's Life was made by the same animation house, Pixar, that made the great-looking Toy Story. Half the pleasure of the movie is the dazzling way it looks, more than its lame story about an ant called Flick who wants to lead the ant colony into a labor-saving efficiency and rid them of the grasshopper threat. To do that, Flick sets out to recruit some bigger bugs who can help the ants.
Wow! City!
To break up the action, the movie features a play within a play, as a variety of insects put on a circus act for an impresario named P.T. Flea.
P.T., what's the point?
Not now, Slim.
What's the point of going out there? They'll only laugh at me.
That's because you're a clown!
A Bug's Life is missing a character like the Woody Allen character from Ants, who gave that film an adult sensibility. This film is more for kids.
Francis, leave them alone. They have poo-poo hands. Not again.
There's no question that A Bug's Life loses some of its appeal because of its release following the movie Ants just 7 weeks ago. I don't know if this can be justified logically, but I'm going to give it a marginal recommendation for people who haven't seen Ants and are unfamiliar with the animation style, but I can't recommend it as highly if you have seen Ants, because in comparison, A Bug's Life comes up short.
I give it more than a marginal thumbs up. I enjoyed it just flat out. I liked Ants too. I think the two movies are more or less comparable in how much they entertain me, and this one does have a wonderful look. They are doing things with 100% computer animation there that gives the Pixar studio its own look, different from other animated films. Yeah. And there is a flow and a grace in the animation here that is bewitching. And then I like the story too. I like the whole business of miniaturization, the way that the rainstorm is like they're being bombed from space by giant water bombs, and the way that the ant hive organizes itself. I like both of these films. I'm happy that we got both of them.
I'm giving thumbs up to this picture too, and it's just that Ants, because of the Woody Allen character, had that extra dimension, that adult quality.
Woody Allen gave it more of an adult quality, but I like the fact that the hero of this film is a little inventor who has all kinds of bright ideas for how he's going to be able to automate the harvest and so forth. He's a good character too. Flick.
When we come back, Woody Allen's new comedy, Celebrity, which happens to feature an actor named Leonardo DiCaprio.
Look, if you could, let's, not dwell on the bulimia.
No, really, believe me, this is about lots of things. And even listen, you promised you show me where you grew up.
Kenneth Branagh stars in Woody Allen's new movie Celebrity, playing a celebrity hound journalist who talks and walks uncannily like Woody Allen himself. In that scene from the film, he's interviewing a movie star played by Melanie Griffith and is less interested in the interview than what he can get out of her personally and professionally. He's a self-promoting hustler who in this scene wants a meeting with a hot young heartthrob played by Leonardo DiCaprio. He tries to peddle him a screenplay and gets drawn into the party boy's lifestyle.
Why don't you slip into bed and we'll be there in 1 minute, all right?
Excuse me, you got a second? Because this is an unfamiliar scenario.
Listen, I know Gina from before, all right? You will not be sorry, trust me.
You mean all of us?
Yeah. When the journalist isn't with the girl he loves the girl he's with. But he can't believe his ears when he chats up a supermodel played by Charlize Theron.
Polymorphously perverse meaning,
Meaning every part of my body is what gives me sexual pleasure.
It's always the case with a Woody Allen movie that there are some big laughs and satirical jabs that are right on the money. He never bores you. But this time he didn't much surprise me either. The movie plays like a series of sketches. Some of them work, some don't, and since nobody can play Woody Allen better than Woody Allen can, maybe it would have been a better idea for Kenneth Branagh to reinvent the journalist instead of simply doing a Woody imitation. It's a close miss, but thumbs down for me on Celebrity.
I'm right with you, Roger. When I heard the idea that I'd be seeing a picture, Woody Allen, called Celebrity, I thought it would be much more biting, much funnier. Also, he may be coming late to this subject, commenting on, you know, our celebrity obsession. You know, maybe 10 years ago would have been more topical. Right now, I think we all know the story.
There's an irony in that Woody Allen's last film was a documentary about his tour of Europe with his Dixieland band, and that movie had more insights into celebrity and Woody Allen than this one does.
Okay, next movie, and it's the Rugrats movie. We cover the waterfront, don't we? It's based, of course, on the popular Nickelodeon cable channel series that looks at the world literally from the ground-level point of view of toddlers. In the movie version, the Pickles family and its kids have to deal with a new addition, an infant boy named Dylan, nicknamed Dill. Get it? Dill Pickles.
Dill can be pretty tough to get along with, huh? But sometimes little brothers, they aren't everything you'd hope they'd be. That's why big brothers have got to have faith. And one day, you'll see.
A staple of the TV show and the film, both aimed at a young audience, is toilet talk.
A baby is extra fancy. A baby poops in his panties. No.
The main story has the Rugrats crawling away from home and encountering adventure in the woods. But no interesting characters there, just some runaway circus monkeys and a wolf. Now, I'm about 7 times the target age for this picture, but not that long ago, as a younger dad, I got a kick out of watching the TV show with my pre-teenage daughters. I think the Rugrats movie is not quite at the level of the TV series.
Well, you know, I'm 7 times the target age, too. I thought it was bright. I thought it was lively. I thought it was fun within certain limits. I can't recommend it to anyone over the Rugrats target demographic. I really can't. This is not a movie for anyone who doesn't already watch Rugrats on television. Yeah. I have a feeling for them it's going to be just fine, and they're going to like it a lot because it has that kind of simplistic, child-oriented, poo and pee-based humor that they just love.
Well, okay, there's a hearty recommendation. That's not gonna pop up in any quote ad you're gonna see.
Has the poo and pee type material that you like. When we come back, a look at the first glimpse of the eagerly awaited new Star Wars movie.
Need any help? Absolutely fine, thank you.
Are you lost?
Grazie. Where is Cafe Verita?
It's right there.
Ah. Hey, please, you join me.
Is this Italian?
The best.
Ecco domani. What does that mean?
Not a clue.
Ecco domani. It means Italian.
I'm here with Clarissa, who recently found out how easy it is to find phone numbers using 1010-9000.
Well, after I had Susie, there were lots of people all over the country I wanted to call.
And lots of phone numbers to find.
Yes, but with 1010-9000, I was able to find everyone's number from Boston to Seattle.
And you didn't even need their area codes.
No, thank goodness. I just told the operators whose numbers I needed and where they lived.
Pretty easy, huh?
Yeah, it was.
1010-9000, directory assistance for everyone in America. It goes for you, too.
Starting Friday, thousands of theaters around the country began showing a new 2-minute trailer for what can possibly be described as the most eagerly awaited new movie of the decade, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Some Star Wars fanatics were able to get their first glimpse of this new trailer last Tuesday when it played in a few selected theaters around the country, and the footage was immediately posted on the web and painstakingly analyzed by fans looking for clues. Starting Friday, it was playing everywhere. What moviegoers got was a first look at a film that seems very much in the same tradition as the first 3 films. Because this story, of course, starts before the original screenplay, only 3 characters seem to be carried over: the ancient and wise Yoda and our old friends R2-D2 and C-3PO. But there were quick glimpses of Liam Neeson as a Jedi Knight, Samuel L. Jackson as the head of the Jedi Council, Ewan McGregor as young Obi-Wan Kenobi, and young Jake Lloyd as Anakin Skywalker, the future Darth Vader.
Are you sure about this? Trusting our fate to a boy we hardly know?
This new Star Wars trailer kind of tells you everything and nothing at the same time. There's not much of an idea about the story, but we can see that Lucas hasn't attempted a radical rethinking of the series' look and feel. The new movies will be of a piece with the original classics, although no doubt the special effects will be even more spectacular. All that the Star Wars Episode 1 trailer proves is that people can get excited about 2 minutes and 10 seconds of a movie that won't be out for 6 months, and I guess that's what it was intended to prove.
I like your line, everything and nothing, because that's the feeling. You know, it rushed by me so quickly. Oh yeah, there's a lightsaber, so yeah, maybe that'll reappear. You know, and was that lightsaber, you know, 1, 2 frames? I mean, that's all, but it sparks you that way. Yeah. The thing that I noticed more than anything else is the quality of the creatures, and that's because the improvement in computer-generated graphics. And so I expect there will be creatures. Remember, we were amused at the creatures in the first picture.
Oh, yeah.
But
even more so.
These are going to be really dazzling. I mean, I could see that.
Well, when we visited George Lucas at his ranch to do a special on TV several years ago, he was talking about how the first movie was kind of handmade, and now, of course, time has marched on. They have enormous technology to bring to bear.
We'll be back in a minute.
Looks like Taz just got his AT&T phone bill. Taz, don't you make a lot of calls on Sunday?
Yeah, Taz call.
Then use MCI 5-cent Sundays. It's just 5 cents a minute every Sunday. AT&T charges 3 times as much. Taz, just call 1-800-Sundays. Become an MCI customer.
Now let's take another look at the movies we reviewed on this show. 2 thumbs up for Enemy of the State, the smart techno-thriller starring Will Smith, Gene Hackman, and Jon Voight. 2 thumbs up, way up, for the gloriously inventive Irish village comedy Waking Ned Devine, about the larceny in all of our hearts. We both think it's one of the year's best films. Congratulations to writer-director Kirk Jones. 2 thumbs up for A Bug's Life, but 2 thumbs down on Woody Allen's Celebrity. We both expected a film with more bite. And finally, 2 thumbs down on the Rugrats movie. Roger thought it would only appeal to little ones and not much to anyone else.
Remember, you can hear our reviews on the web at Siskel-Ebert.com. Next week, we'll be back with reviews of more new movies, including Home Fries, starring Drew Barrymore as an expectant mom who finds herself in trouble, and also Babe, Pig in the City, the sequel to the Oscar-nominated Barnyard epic.
This place can really take it out of you.
Tell me about it.
Whatever the pig says, goes.
That's next week, and until then, the balcony is closed.
Blasto Butter microwave popcorn is so rich, so buttery tasting, so good, you'll have to share. Blasto Butter from Jolly Time.
There's one way to guarantee whiter teeth. 1-2 Whiten by Natural White whitens teeth. Safe, effective. 1-2 Whiten by Natural White. We guarantee whiter teeth.
Every second, your skin is losing valuable moisture. Now you can protect sensitive skin. Moisturize it with therapeutic Moisturel. It's the sensible choice for sensitive skin.
Embark on the Mist Challenge with your friends. Enjoy twists and turns never before seen in a board game. The Mist Board Game by University Games.